Go from a fan of the show to star of the show. Send us your opinions now, and they could be discussed live on today's show. Welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show on Thursday, August the 8th, 2019. We're coming to you from the bunker. This is the warm-up, coming to you from sunshiny Saskatchewan. Rod Pedersen here, Mike Abomeshrik there.
Yeah, on the two-shot.
Yes,
wow.
Look at that. Oh, I know. That is a real Letterman-like shot, except for that one where they're cutting off your head. You know what? You're too tall. There you go.
Yeah.
Why do you look like a Muppet? I love it.
It's my hairline. Yeah, cut that off.
Yeah, that's funny. I like it.
The coffee is so good here.
Whoa.
I'm not even kidding. When I know I'm on, I skip a cup.
Roots
so delicious.
Kitchen and Bar, one more day, and hopefully every day, dropping off coffee and treats. Do you want us to do it right out of the gate, Tyler? Do you want right out of the gate?
There's treats.
If you're coming to town this weekend for the big Garth Brooks Country and Western Show, and you got nowhere to stay, look up Harbor Landing Village, home of Roots Kitchen and Bar. It is in Harbor Landing, conveniently enough, at 4000 James Hill Road. Which I was thinking about this last night. Who the hell's James Hill? Should I know James Hill from Regina or Saskatchewan lore?
I always wonder where they come up with street names.
Me too.
James Hill, all the workers were out one day. They're sitting, drinking. Was it drinking some Kool-Aid because it was hot? And,
yep.
And look at that hill over there. And the guy's name was James. And then they're like, oh, we got to build a street over James's Hill.
They just made it up. Who is James Hill? Anyways... look up Harbor Landing Village. What's the website? Tyler, do you know? Harbor Landing Village. Give them a call. 559-8829. Or Google it, he says. It is 2019 if you're looking for accommodations this weekend for the Garth Brooks Country and Western Show. Shocking that Mike Abomeshrik joins the bunker and we went right off into the ditch immediately.
I've been saying for years, why doesn't every business bring their food down? Every food business bring their food down for us to eat. You know we're going to talk about it.
I know. Well, I'm okay with Roots Kitchen and Bar being the only one, and of course Ballers Rec Room, which we will get to.
Those pastries looked good over in the back there.
It's going to be a lot of fun today on the program. 6'5" Mike Abomeshrik in his chair. It appears that they fixed the camera, so you don't need to slink down. Man, you look like a Muppet. I love it.
That's what I want it to be when I grow up. I'm getting closer every day.
To being what? A Muppet?
A Muppet, yeah.
Yeah.
Who didn't?
Well, Tom is watching from Winnipeg this morning. He says, let the Bomber bashing begin. And he's a Bomber fan. We're not going to bash the Bombers. We're going to talk about the Canada's Game of the Week tonight at Investors Group Field. The Calgary Stampeders at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 6:30 p.m. Mountain on TSN. We're going to talk about that. Stampeders blogger Ryan Ballantyne will be joining us from Calgary to tee up the Stamp side of things. Abu is a Bomber alum, among other things, so we'll talk about the Winnipeg side of it. Tori Gurley will join us today, our NFL, CFL insider. Spent the week at Cleveland Browns camp. Now he's in Miami, Florida, at a journalist conference. Tori Gurley will be with us on the program today. My favorite Italian from Moose Jaw, James Gallo, the voice of the Warriors, will be with us. He's also on the Moose Jaw Miller Express Baseball Club board. And tonight, the Miller Express are in town taking on the Regina Red Sox. Game 1 of their best-of-3 first-round WNBL series. Now, you live in Regina, Abu, but you work in Moose Jaw. You got an office there, correct?
That's correct.
Who do you cheer for in a Regina Moose Jaw showdown?
We're the home team.
The home team?
Obviously. Come on. I only look dumb.
50-50.
The home team. I got my gear.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, it's asking me the same question about the Bombers and Riders. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait till Labor Day in the Banjo Bowl for that.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I'll be at Curry Field tonight. I'm in a bit of a conundrum, I'll be honest with you. I really want to watch Canada's Game of the Week, but I really want to watch the Red Sox and the Miller Express. So I'm thinking I'm going to watch my TSN app down at the ballpark. I'm going to stay for a couple innings, and then I'm going to come home and watch the rest of the game, the final 30. Because do you think this game tonight will go down to the last 3 to 5 minutes in the CFL?
Most of the time it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that taking the fun out of the being at the baseball
It's
game?
2019, man. It's multitasking time.
I know, exactly. And that's why baseball attendance is going,
Unfortunately.
because in my opinion, and I don't highlight these, my shirt brings out my highlights.
But
Going to a baseball game isn't about watching guys stand around and wait for a ball to be hit to them once or twice in 4 hours. It's about having the peanuts and going and talking to people.
The social
and cheering.
aspect.
100%. I think. Well, 90% of it is the social part, isn't it? Fresh air, fall afternoon, summer afternoon.
For some.
And now you're going and looking on your thing.
For some. You know what? Just go to the games, and then once you're there, do whatever the hell you want.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be way better than on your. It's like sending your kids outside to play, and when they're on their,
Right.
I don't want. There's nothing to do outside. You send them out, and they're having a blast.
By the way, listen,
Guess what I've been doing?
Facebook string. We love the interactive nature of this show. Clearly, so do you. This is Canada's most watched Facebook live show, as our business manager Tyler told us yesterday here in the bunker. Dan writing us. He's with the Nipawin Hawks. He says, "Happy Dairy Queen Miracle Treat Day, guys. Go grab a DQ Blizzard to support the Saskatchewan Children's Hospital today." Like any other day, I get a Blizzard almost every day.
75
But I'll go get it. I'll get two today.
Yeah, there's 75 cents.
Curtis from Moose Jaw writes in. He says, "Are we going to talk about the retiring of the rider great who wore number 7 for the green and white?" Yes, Weston Dressler. And we're going to talk about that in 60 seconds time. But here is your life lesson of the day. We try to pass along a tidbit every day, Abu, whether you're here or not. We had a chiropractor sitting on the couch here, the sponsor's couch yesterday. You want to talk about a stark message he gave me. He said they used to diagnose osteoarthritis just for seniors. Now they're diagnosing it for 20-somethings and 30-somethings because of sedentary lifestyles, video gamers, bad posture, not active lifestyles. Kids in their 20s are getting osteoarthritis.
Go out and play baseball.
What the hell that's got to do with what I've been talking about today, I have no idea. Why did I bring that up? Just scared the hell out of me. Now, to the retirement of Weston Dressler, which, yes, not only does Curtis and Moose Jaw want to talk about, but so do I. So typical Dressler, is it not? And you played a season with him, and you remember him as a rookie. His first year was your last year.
Oh, wait, was
2008.
Was it?
And is he my favorite all-time rider? He's up there. I've long said Jeff Fairholm and Don Narcisse are my two favorite riders. I say Narco's my favorite American. Fairholm's my favorite Canadian. Dressler he's up there.
Oh, for sure.
He's certainly up there.
Year. Yeah, it seems like he was around for a lot longer than just 1 year out of my career. But he's been
major impact.
But is he retired, or is that label just being thrown on?
Did you see the story?
I did, but not all of it.
Well, it's simple. I mean, what do you need to know? Weston Dressler started a new job on Tuesday of this week, or maybe it was Monday, because I don't think it's a holiday in the States, August long. And he is working in the health services, community relations field, which surprises me a little bit because there's introverts here and then there's Weston. But I hear it's a great job. He's just a quiet guy. And look, I wish him well. I know he and his wife Tegan, obviously, from his years with the Rough Riders, and he's one of the all-time greats. He's one of those guys that should bypass the mandatory 3-year waiting period to get into the Plaza of Honor, like only, I think, 3 people have done. Roger Aldag, Norm Fong, and Ivan Goodfriend. Dressler should be the 4th. Go into the Plaza next year, because I think he is retiring. If he's going down to work in Bismarck, North Dakota in health services, you think he's going to come back playing for somebody someday?
See, that's what I mean. I got the impression of someone knocked on the door and said, "Hey, here's a little bit of money. Come back and play for the next."
But they're not knocking on the door. That's the point.
I mean, it's they might. I mean, a lot of injuries happen. Knock on wood and all that other stuff. If the call came, I got the impression that he might come back.
Based on what?
It just sounded like it was just the job. I hate to say that, but it was, it's just a job. Sometimes the media tends to sensationalize things when we're talking about our favorite players and, oh, what a great time he's having after football. He retired a few weeks ago. I retired 12 years ago, and I'm still having a hard time. You know, you can fake it all you want. It's impossible if you're immersed until you're in your 30s into that sort of community. Just be like, all right, I'm done. I don't care anymore.
Everybody handles it differently.
Perspective is yeah. Well, a lot of people appear to handle it better than they do as well, and that's what you do when someone's got a mic in front of you saying, "So football's over. Any big deal?" No.
Well, can I ask, look, maybe this is a conversation you and I should have on the couch afterwards, but did you consult with anybody when your career ended? I know you told me some things about how tough it was, but that was just two friends bouncing it off. Did you see anybody professionally? Because players are diagnosing it as depression, which it may or may not be. But
yeah, we talked about here's a bunch of pills, here's a bunch of pills, here's a bunch of pills. Oh, you're depressed? Man, a whole bunch when... Sometimes you're supposed to feel sad. Sorry, this public message.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're supposed to feel sad, and you're not supposed to throw drugs at things. And personally, just a lot of bad things happened at once. They want to throw labels at it, and I'm like, you're supposed to be sad when your mom dies and stuff like that happens. Like, not here's a bunch of pills, take some more pills because more bad things are happening. Oh, more? Okay, here's some more pills. And losing a parent or losing football, you want to say you don't identify yourself as a football player, but if that's what you do until you're 33. I mean, you start when you're 8. I don't know. I'm not a math guy, but that's
yeah. But maybe, and that's why
you don't just turn it off like that.
This is so classic Weston Dressler that he would leave it up to the Grand Forks Herald to basically announce his retirement. Some guys call a flashy news conference and they want everybody there and their jerseys up on the wall, and that's cool too. But this is so Weston Dressler that he's just under the radar.
But that's what I'm saying, right?
I'm not done. So we all wish him well, but maybe by the end of his career, which he was with the Riders from 08 until 2015, that's 8 seasons, a cup of coffee and a donut with the Kansas City Chiefs, and then he was with the Bombers for 2 seasons, and at the end of his career, he was kind of kicked around a little bit, and maybe he's just tired of being kicked around in the game of football. And let's not forget, you know, I've been waiting 48 episodes now to get the proper way of wording this, and I think I finally have it, and the Dressler retirement came to me this morning as to why with the Chris Jones era. Weston Dressler was one of a lot of guys that were obviously shown the door in a not pleasant fashion, both on and off the field. So this team did sell its soul to hire Chris Jones to be everything. General manager, head coach, defensive coordinator, head scout, all of it. And everybody was willing to put up with that. If what? What was the deal?
That the guy was here.
That you were going to win a championship in your time. Well, he didn't. There's a lot of raw feelings remain from the people that were gunned execution style. And now Jones is gone. They didn't win. That lovable era that was obliterated, blown to smithereens by Chris Jones, and he was allowed to do it, is over. And now you see the team somewhat scrambling to get the magic back, or at the very least create new magic. And it's very fascinating to watch, and I hope that they can. With Cody Fajardo, the emergence of him, they're hoping to gather lightning in the bottle. You know, he's a marketer's dream, as Marshall Hamilton said, sitting in that chair the other day. But it was a huge gamble with Chris Jones that did not pay off.
Yeah, and that's where...
Go ahead.
That's where, can I talk now? Yeah. That's where I was going to say, gamble that didn't pay off. If Chris Jones was around this year, I think very much so, we would be a Grey Cup contender. Why? Well, because Willie Jefferson would be here. You know, the defense would be different. Just circumstances would be different. But that's, I mean, I'm not putting down Jones for doing that. That's the risk that you take when you make one person everything. But you needed to make that one person everything to pull them away from the Grey Cup champion Edmonton.
It was a huge roll of the dice. It didn't come up 7 or 11.
And that's sports. You can't be saying, oh, I should have done this, could have done that. Things were done, and that's how they were done. But for you to say that Chris Jones took over a lovable era, remember when Chris Jones took over, he had to get rid of 25 guys, and everyone's like, oh, he got 25 crappy contracts out of the way, and that couldn't have helped out the team anymore. You know, I love Chick, you know, love Dressler, but they were making a third of the salary cap or something ridiculous like that. You know, take the names off the back of the jersey and look at the one on the front. If two guys are making a third of your roster, you better be an NBA team. You know, not a football team, definitely not a CFL team.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about the era. I mean, 2015. The year that Chamberlain was fired was the tail end of the decade of decadence, obviously. And listen, I understand.
So then who?
I understand what Chris Jones did or why he did it in gunning all those guys. They were 3-15 with Dressler, Getzlaff, Chick, Durant, all those guys. Listen, I get it. But the deal was you do whatever you want. These guys did a lot for this organization, but we don't care if you want to move them out because you're going to deliver a championship. And he never did. That's the point. Yeah. So even in 2015, the Rider Nation still loved the team because they loved those guys. And now they don't know who these guys are. But they're starting to know who Cody Fajardo is. And as I went down this road, it's not just about Cody Fajardo. Jeremy O'Day and Craig Dickinson have done an outstanding job. I've been giving them tons of plaudits over the last week to 10 days for this winning streak that we hope will hit 4 on Friday night. So yeah, they're trying to recapture the magic. The point is Dressler is a huge link to a wonderful era of which you were a part of.
Absolutely. Dressler's all that you say, you know, CFL Hall of Fame, I don't know, but definitely Plaza of Honor. I mean, you want to put that 7. I don't like that people are covering up to Dressler with the Fajardo. I don't like that.
Oh, you saw that.
I don't.
Well, okay, hang on. I saw this on Facebook too. Obviously, we have the same friends, or somebody shared it. Either way,
I have 6 people that I still see.
People were wearing Dressler jerseys. They covered up the Dressler with Fajardo. And some people thought it was funny. Others peaked, lost their minds that you would do that to Weston Dressler, which I am in that camp.
Yeah.
But I was around Weston enough that after he was gunned by the Riders, so many fans were saying to him, well, we love you, Weston, but we're still Rider fans, so good luck wherever you go.
Sure, but he's an all-timer, like you said. You don't get his name no matter what. You don't get his name.
You don't cover that up.
I'm gonna get a 71 and I'm gonna put my son's name on it. No, you don't do that. Those names are up there for a reason. You know, I kind of was pissed off when they did it with Kerry Joseph's jersey. You know, as much as I love Darian, I mean, that was a guy that won everything for us. But I get it. I got it. No, I didn't get it. I don't get it. I mean, those are classic players. These aren't guys that are leaving town for more money. But
my point is simply this, that with the Rider Nation, people need to understand the players and coaches are people too. They're actual human beings, believe it or not. So when you stay to Weston Dressler, hey, we loved you, but you know, you're not with us anymore. So, hey, have a nice life, which is what so many people said to him. How do you think that felt to be him? You're telling me that you don't care about me. So guess what? I'm going to go take a job in Bismarck, North Dakota. I'm not going to hold a news conference. And you have a nice life. Let's all have nice lives. And I hope that at some point, which the team will bring him back, won't they, and have a Weston Dressler Day? I would think.
I would think so. I mean, at some point, some sort of recognition. Yeah, maybe sign him for a day.
Well, for sure that.
But
that's a news release, not a day.
Are you sure? Because he had a pretty good career in Winnipeg, and they love him there just as much, you know, or maybe,
not just as much.
No, definitely
stop
not
it.
Just as much. No one,
think about that for a second.
No one could love anywhere. No, but they like him, right? He liked it there, I guess.
Point.
I mean, don't assume that he'd turn his back on Winnipeg either. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? He would have to answer that question himself.
Welcome to professional sports, right? The fans. I'm not mad at the fans for saying "See you later, Weston. Have a nice life." I'm a Rider fan. I'm not mad at that at all. There's no allegiance to players or for players, I guess. If you really want to come down to it, we make it up and we say we bleed green and everything, but.
Nobody's bigger than the team.
They'll cut you in a day. Yeah, like and then that just brings me back to the other thing. People in the CFL, the guys don't announce their retirement because they're waiting for the phone call. I mean,
I think he's moved on myself. I do,
and I'm not talking about Weston necessarily, and that's where I was kind of getting. You know, a story in a newspaper talking about Weston now has a job. Well, of course he has a job. He's the guy to eat. Doesn't mean that he's given it up in his heart, you know. Because I know him, I was going to say I'd like to talk to him and just see where he's coming from, rather than to hear it from somewhere else. Because he hasn't retired. Until you sit down and you say, "I am retired," it's just I'm not retired yet. There's 9 teams out there. I'm not retired. 255. You know, I worked out like last month.
Oh, you're up.
Yeah, call me.
Well, by the way, Mike writes in on the Facebook feed. Mike Dacey says, "Isn't it up to Weston to decide what team he wants to retire from?" You guys, are you getting it? He doesn't care. He's moved to Bismarck, North Dakota, as they say it down there, with his family. It's over. That's the read that I'm getting from things. He doesn't care about filing retirement papers, or is he retiring as a Rider or a Bomber. He's moved on. This is for us to debate.
Yeah, what was it?
He doesn't care.
And that's what we're doing, aren't we?
Well, yes. But he may not sign the one-day contract.
I agree with you, Rod. What we talk about next?
What we're going to talk about next is a break. This is the warm-up, so you're kind of getting a feel for the theme of the program today. On the way, James Gallo. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, the Winnipeg Jets color commentator, Brian Munns. Munnsy will be with us to talk Jets. We'll talk about your favorite all-time number 48s. Be thinking about that. I know. Ew. It's hard. This is episode number 48 of the show. And I really struggled with a poll question today. Producer Clark came up with it. The Riders announced their roster for Friday's game at Montreal, and virtually the entire defensive line is out, except for Charleston Hughes. We'll talk about that coming back on the break. So the poll question for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center, is this. Can Charleston Hughes, the CFL sack leader, carry the load of the defensive line for the Riders Friday night? Vote now on our Twitter feed at Rod Pedersen Show or our website, rodpedersen.com. Abu and I we'll be back after this break. You're watching The Rod Pedersen Show on Facebook Live, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.